Kia ora, New Zealand. Welcome to Sweet Chain Live. My name's Matt Drake. This is episode 68. 68. Woo! Good evening, Brady. How are you?
Good, Matt. Hanging in there. This Wellington weather finally setting the wintry wetness that it's going to be. Didn't blow me away. How about yourself? How are you doing? How's that coffee yours going?
Oh, yeah, it's still here. Still lingering. Hopefully get rid of it at some point. You're right. It's been wetter than the picture behind me in Wellington this week. It's been terrible. Thunderstorms, lightning, bit of everything. Anyway, we've got a great show for you today. We're first of all going to wrap up the hot scores from around the country. No big tournaments going on the last week, so lots of disc golf being played out and about in the centres. Then we've got Jackson Sullivan from RPM Disc, who's going to be joining us today to talk about the Takapu, the new putter that they're releasing. It's available from tomorrow. And there's a giveaway as well. So if you want to be in with a chance to win one of those, then stand by for that. Then we've got a few bits and pieces we just want to cover off. And we'll do the results of the giveaway by spinning the wheel at the end of the show. So without further ado, Brady, take us through the South.
Let's go through the South, starting as hot as ever. South as South goes. Queen's Park, Invercargill. Ethan Stout coming in at 15 under par. Those new Discraft discs are doing him well. Up in Dunedin, Chingford Park. I don't have a name, but the username is Amizio Jutel. Comes in at -6 this week. Over in Brockville, we have a tie. We have a Tom McKay, Jack Maffey, and Sweet Chain Zone Andrew Fleming coming in at 8 under par for the hot round in Brockville this week. Over in Queenstown in the Garden, Gus Van Gisteren comes in at 9 under par for the hot round of the Gardens. And at Tucker's, we have Akira Kuro and Pete McKay shooting an even round at the beach. Up over the Crown Range, Ely Point, Matt Pritchard, Ollie Webb, and Willie Taratana come at -3 for the hot round. And at Lismore Park, Ryan Cambridge, as always, getting it done, coming in at -12 this week. Up to the popular Garden City, Christchurch, Jelly Park, Sam Mark sets the mark at Jelly, 12 under par. Over at Brooker Ave, we have Callie Thompson and Jasper Vandermeer coming at 4 under par. Jasper Vandermeer is also getting it done at Queen's Park. He comes in at 7 under par. And to round out the Garden City, we have Ashton Clark coming in Warren Park at 9 under par on the new 18 course. Big shout out to Blenheim, Taylor River Reserve, Chris Corbin, and Tom Strawbridge coming in at -5 this week to round out the hot scores of the South. Matt, run us through the North.
Yeah, so starting in Wellington and the Berrenpore Hills, it's Team Sweet Chain's Brett Carlisle, which comes through with a 7 under par to take the lead for this week. Across the harbour to Hikoikoi Reserve, and Dylan Johnson's 5 under par is enough to take out the crown. Up to Harcourt Park, and it's Mitch Hudson who hits an even round up in Upper Hutt. And in the Mighty Manawa 2, going to Linklater Reserve, Ryan Kitto's 8 under par at Palmerston North is good enough for the lead this week. Over to Topor, and it's Mark Hellier's +6 at Spa Park Red was enough to take out the crown. And over at Taranaki and Maryland's, Brian Rawlins evens is the hot score there. Across to Rotorua in the Nursery, Dylan Wadsworth shoots a 2 under par Scion Tree. And over in Hastings on the Flaxmere League layout, Anthony Rogers hits a 7 under par. Up to Tauranga, and it's Quentin Suppers who treats McLaren Falls to a 1 under par. And at Henderson, it's Richard Waterson who hits 6 under on the full 18. Rawbody Water hits 9 under at Rosedale. And Henry Pearson hits 7 down at Woodhill Reds. So congratulations and well done to everybody there. So our guest this evening, you all know, he's been on the show before, but with something new to talk about this week. So our guest this week is Jackson Sullivan. Good evening, Jacko.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
Good, man. Good. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad. Well, yeah, apart from being a bit crook. Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you. Now, you've got something new to show off from RPM. So yeah, tell us a bit about it.
So we've finally gotten around to getting our new putter out, the Takapu. It's been a bit of a process with interruptions with lockdowns and the COVID and whatnot, but it's finally come, and we're super stoked with it. The results we've got, and there she is. There's the stamp we've gone with.
That's lovely.
So we're pretty stoked about the results. It's a beadless putter, sort of very similar to those. A lot of popular, like that kind of popular putter mold that there's a few out there that are beadless, and our lineup really needed them. I really needed it. Well, we had the Tui, which sits on the high side of the speed chart for putters, that sort of putt and approach scenario, and the Ruru, which was pretty blunt nose, So this just sits bang in the middle quite nicely. So it's finally here.
Excellent. Now, before we go into a little bit more detail on the disc and the manufacturing process and all that kind of stuff, you're actually doing a giveaway today.
Yep.
So what are you going to be giving away? What's up for grabs?
So we'll leave it up to the winner. We've got a bunch of different plastics here. We've got Strata through to Glow.
And you've got a new plastic in there as well. We haven't seen. We'll get onto that in a minute. But there's a different plastic in there that you may not have seen on other discs.
Yep. It'll be kind of exclusive to this first run.
Excellent. Okay, so if you want to win your choice of Takapu in one of those different plastics, all you need to do is pop your name, or rather tag someone, in the comments below. Now, when you tag someone, both you and them get put into the draw. Okay, so each person can be entered twice, once for tagging someone and once for being tagged. So make sure that you pop your names into the comments. What we'll do is we'll spin the wheel at the end of the show, and we'll see who the winner is. So, excuse me. You talked a little bit about the plastics. A lot of people will be familiar with RPM plastics. So take us through what plastics this disc is available in.
Right. So we just start with the baseline. We've got our Strata, and this is like the newest version of our Strata. It's feeling really, really sweet. It's not too firm. A couple of the last runs came out a little too stiff for our liking, so we've tweaked that and got it to just a really nice, consistent feel. So that's our baseline, the Strata. A lot of them are white in the first run. There will be other colors, but we've gone a higher percentage in white. So it's a baseline. That's pretty sweet. It's a personally, I wasn't sure whether I was going with the Strata or Magma. It was pretty nice. Then we've got the Magma. This is a hard one, so nice and stiff. This is what I've decided to go with myself personally. So we've got the hard version, we've got a medium and a soft. The soft is on the very soft side. So for all those guys that like the super softies, that bend a lot, we've gone similar to our first run Rurus that came out with the I don't know if you remember some of those. They're quite really gummy. So we've gone super soft, and then we've got a nice consistent hard, and then we've got a medium that just sits in the middle, which is more along the that firmness that a lot of most people like, that don't like the extreme soft or the super hard.
Have you got a soft one there?
I don't.
I just wanted to see how much they vary.
When we pop that up for the giveaway, when I'm off screen, I'll go down and grab one for us to have a look at.
Oh yeah.
Then we've got the Cosmic, of course.
Yep.
So these are come out really nice flat on the top. They just throw really nice, really good. Then we've got our Atomic. So this particular one here is like our standard Atomic that we're all used to.
Yeah, that little bit of play a G Star like. Yeah,
a little harder than the G Star. but yeah, more so along that consistent atomic feel. And then the special one that I've got here that we don't have a lot of is this yellow atomic, which will be in the first run only. And this is a stiffer variation of atomic. Some of them are a lot flatter than the standard. Like these are still flat, but these just have that harder feel for those guys that like the touch forehands. You can kind of, yeah, it's a lot firmer than the standard atomic. So that's just a little variation for that sort of bit of a bonus in the first run.
Well, how do you think that will change its flight characteristics?
It's more. It hasn't changed it too much, to be honest. It's more just a feel
in the hand and
yeah, it's just a feel thing.
Maybe more skip, or will it not make a difference?
I would say so. It'd have a higher, yeah. It'd hit harder and have a, I don't know the word, more of a it'll bounce back a lot more. You know what I mean? But yeah, I've thrown a couple, and these they're nicely stable. You know what I mean? They're not super overstable. They're not understable. So it's that really neutral. Haven't noticed a huge difference in the flight between the hards and the softs. But yeah, so that's a little bonus for the first run for those that'll get their hands on one.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our New Zealand and Australian distributors have been sent one or two or three. There'll be some available for most. And then we've got our glow, of course. The glow are coming out in higher weights, closer to the max. So it was approved at 176 grams.
Right.
And a lot of these guys are coming out 7.4 through to 7.5, pretty much. And these are probably, just because of the extra couple of grams, not a huge difference, but these are probably your most stable throwers. Generally, with most glow plastic, being a little more stable. And these are super, super bright on the, like our glow ranges. These are, these pop in the dark. They're really nice.
The new glow plastic from that you're producing actually is I think starting to rival some of the better glow plastics available internationally. It's really pleasing to see.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Well, and then you said that disc complements the Tui and the Ruru. So like for players who potentially have thrown both, like for those Kiwi viewers that are watching and listening, where does it fit as a thrower versus a putter? Like you've posted a couple of videos on your like personal page and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But for people who might not have seen him, what exactly do you mean by like fitting in that gap? Is it a straight flight with like, a consistent finish? Is it kind of like hyzer and it's like stable all the way? How do you find it?
So far I've found releasing it on a tad hyzer. This is just, if you just, like a bit of wind, either way, tail or head, like it's just a little bit of hyzer, it'll pop to flat and it'll just go straight, and then it'll kick in with a bit of fade at the end.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neutral. We when we were testing it, we've gone with 2-3-0 +2. So I've gone with that +2 fade. When we do our numbers, we kind of try and keep it so that it complements the whole range. So a strata will beat in quicker. And become less stable as we know with baseline plastics, and then glow being on the other spectrum, being a lot more overstable than say the strata or some magmas, So we try to find that balance in between that'll kind of sum up the whole range, So it's like as a thrower, it's super smooth out the hand with no bead.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised how much glide it has, and it's quite quick actually. So I've actually done, Simon and I were doing some testing. Marty, we've had, a few of us out doing some good tests, and that's the numbers we ended up coming up with that we all agreed on and thought that was going to be the one. So yeah, super smooth out the hand for a thrower, right? So it's the Tui, you'll get a bit of, depending on how much power you give it, the Tui you'll get some turn. Voodoo kind of fairly neutral, sort of very quite similar to the Voodoo in the flight, but this will just it's a little more aerodynamic. You know what I mean? It's not as blunt nosed, so this will just I feel it's a lot quicker, and it just has a little more fade at the end. So that's how it'll fit into our lineup. And it's just one of those feels again. The Tui has a bead, Ruru has a bead. This is just bang in the middle. Not so much of flight, but more so feel in that general shape. You know what I mean? So we kind of, we just really needed it, and we were honestly super stoked with the results. So we think we've nailed it, to be honest, for the flight and everything. So as a putter, as a dedicated putter, it's just smooth out the hand. It's just like now my knees are a bit better. I've been trying to put in some time in between the madness of getting these bad boys out and out to everyone in time and whatnot. So it's it's really exciting to have that, take it to the market and get it into people's bags.
Well, and then
sorry, go on, Brady.
Yeah, for me, like, why the switch? Like, I know that you putted, like, back in your Innova days, you're putting with those, like rock hard, like Paul Macbeth, like McPro AVRs, and then you switched to like you had that hard Strata Tuis that you're putting those blue ones for ages. So, like, why the switch? What does this give you that your Tui didn't when it comes to a putting putter?
For me personally,
yeah.
So with the Tui, it's just a dead straight putter. Like, I'm a firm believer, like anything really within 8 meters just comes down to where you put it. If it's off, you're going to be off. It doesn't matter which putter you got. Let's be honest. They're all, if it's going to be on, it's going to be on. But just outside of that range, I was finding if there's a slight headwind or something. I remember when I first switched to Tuis, everyone said, "Oh, bro, you're going to hate, too understable, blah, 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 blah." It's like, it doesn't matter, mate. If you're on, it's going in. That's just simple, like, you know what I mean? That's just how it is. So I was finding back from that range, I was having to slightly adjust my angles with a bit of hyzer and whatnot, and I was kind of, I didn't want to bring in any other variables. And like with like at national, just for example, at nationals my knee wasn't 100%, so I couldn't fully swing through my putt, and I was obviously it's an open course and there's wind. So I felt it was a little exposed. So when the confidence was down, I didn't want to have to be guessing my angles of release, etc. I wanted just a routine putt. So the difference for me is just having that little bit of stability at the end, that little extra fade or stability, pretty much. So 8 to 9 meters, 10 meters, I don't need to adjust too much, too much highs or too much angle sort of thing. So that's really the change for me. And it's just refreshing. I mean, I've had this time off with my injury. It's it's very similar to what I used to putt with the McPro AVRs and whatnot. So I think it's just for me, just a time for a change, something I can, I don't need to bring in too much variables when a headwind gets up or something like that, So that's the main reason for the switch.
So talk us through I just realised I've disappeared.
Where are you going, Matt?
I don't
Getting
know.
eaten by that gannet there.
I was, yeah.
Takapu.
Take us through a bit of the process about how you go about developing a mold, right? So you've got this kind of idea that we want an overstable putter, probably going to be beadless, and how do you get from there to having them in your hand now? How do you kind of? I've always wondered, and sorry, this question's getting on a long bit now. How do you work out how a disc is going to behave from like looking at a design on a sheet of paper and then making a mold and whatever?
Pretty much just through experience of throwing other discs, just being disc golfers, knowing what other things do just through past experiences and stuff, and something that generally super flat is going to be pretty stable, and so on and so on. Just different, just pretty much through experience of that, pretty much, and now we've kind of got to the point, we've got enough molds and knowledge behind us that we kind of, touch wood, we can predict what it's going to be. You know what I mean? We can predict what it's going to be. So from the digital shape that we all work on, Simon and I have a lot of input into that, because we're the the throwers. Everyone else does Woody and that too, but we have the digital drawing of the side profile, right?
Yeah.
There's certain things we allow for, the general circumference, how much weight's going into the flight plate, how much going into the rim, and how much shrinkage the disc will have. So you when a disc comes out hot out of the machine, it's like a cake, like it wants to rise in, and rise up. So you got to allow for a little bit of shrinkage. So that can affect the shoulder that can affect the shoulder here and the general overall shape. So you might want a different shape, and then it comes out. And if you haven't allowed for shrinkage, it's going to change what you're kind of trying to visualize. You know what I mean? So that's so we go through that. Then we obviously we get the die made. We run prototypes. We pretty much get them straight out of the machine, go and run them under cold water, because they come out super hot, right? That you don't want to hold on to it too long. So we're straight to the tap, get them cold, and then straight out to the field. There's a field next door to our molders that we go and do our first initial tests. We generally give it a good couple of throws back and forth. All sorts of stuff, all sorts of shots. See if we have nailed it. In the last few, we've been pretty stoked with. Like the Peka was bang on. And this one in particular, we were like, yeah, boom, we've nailed it. So we go back in, and that's when we'll kind of work out how we're going with our weights and stuff, because you don't know what your approved max weight is. You can kind of try and guesstimate it through the circumference of the disc. So then we get them sent off to the PDGA, and they come back with the approval. So these actually came back as a 176, which we were really hoping for. And that's pretty much it, man. Then we run through all the runs we've got. So for this first run, say we've done about 4,000 strata, about 1,500 glow, 2,000 atomic, 2,000 cosmic, and about 6,000 magmas, because we went heavy on the magma because it's a putting putter, you know what I mean? We wanted to make sure we had a good variation in numbers of those variances in the magma plastics. So from there, it's to the stampers, and in this case, with delays and like just everything, been a few rushed back and forth trips here and there between my car and the trucks. So it's been all on. It's been good though. We got there.
And have you ever had I'm interested in the process of taking the disc literally out of the machine and then taking it straight out into a field. Have you ever had any nightmares where you've taken this disc out and thought, right, this is going to be a nice straight flyer, and it's just dumped over the fence or something?
Yeah. So little inside view with the Kia, for example, right? So at the time we were trying to, what we done, the Kia as we know it now, we had a bottom. We designed a new bottom. So from the parting line, we had the Kia bottom, and we thought, let's see if we can change the tui a bit. Keep the tui, but let's see if we can change it. So we kept the tui top part of the die. So we had the tui top, and our new designed the bottom part of the Kia. So we had the straight, the steep wall, and then the top of the tui, which is around the shoulder. Yeah. And we were hoping that was going to be a bit, overstable. Overstable for that forehand, that wind approach and stuff. Simon and I, under the hot tap, go out to the field, throw it, turns a lot to the right. So that's when we went back and said, no, stop. Let's stop this, and we'll have to design a top that complements the bottom. Obviously, pretty blunt and square there with the little dip that goes up. So that was an instance where it wasn't quite as overstable as we predicted. So that was one. Not many people know that the Kia started with a tui top. So yeah, that was one instance that it didn't quite work out as we'd first hoped.
Yeah.
But we got there in the end with that one. Nice and beefy.
Absolutely. Remember, you can win a Takapu if you tag somebody in the comments down below. Both you and them go into the draw. Excellent. So you've got the first run, and from the numbers, I wasn't adding them up as we went, but it sounds like there was around sort of 10 to 12,000 made in that first run. How many of those will be in New Zealand, and how many do you ship overseas?
Well, there's quite a few, like all the distributors we know of, like yourself, the Small Planets, Vortica, Dish Shop, Gentle Sports, everyone. That's, they've all ordered a healthy amount, and Aussie as well. So the rush was to get them to, places like Perth, who are, that's, as far as Aussie, New Zealand, that's the furthest we'll send them, sort of thing. So that was, everyone's ordered pretty healthy amounts. So and then we have to allow for other things like our RPM Rapture, blank custom runs. So we had a custom run go out straight away to the Lexington Open. So they were waiting, and just so happened we got it done in time. There's been some healthy numbers go out around New Zealand and Aussie, and a lot will go to the States. So Marshall Street will be dropping soon. We don't usually call out individual distributors and say, oh, this person's got this and that. Like, it's generally people will know, sort of thing. So the first in the States was the Lexington Open, and Marshall Street will have the first lot as far as the retail side goes in the US.
Excellent. So, what is it now then in terms of the sort of the factory and the mold design? Then is it sort of ship out the first runs and you put your feet up a bit?
No, mate. These will go quicker than you realise. It sounds like a lot of numbers, but it's kind of not once you accommodate for custom, blanks, custom jobs, raptures. Just the general volume of the industry now, you know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. So we're kind of predicting a lot of our guys will sell out and want to reorder pretty quickly. So the numbers we've run, where we didn't want to do a huge first run. You kind of want to keep that first run quite. We didn't want to run out super quick. We wanted enough to sort of spread the love to everyone worldwide.
Well, and how about yourself? Like, we've been talking quite a bit about disc, but that's not the only thing to, come back onto, like, New Zealand courses. You're back, your knees feeling good. Like, what's going to be next for you? Like, when are we going to get to see you putting with these new putters of yours?
So I'll be playing Waitawa, I can't remember, might be 25th, 26th of June.
Yep.
So that's obviously I love that course. Been successful there the last 5 years, so I'm kind of loving the fact. I went out there last weekend actually, and really tested the knee. So I done a field session on the Saturday, and I thought I just want to see where it's at, because I had the physio, right. So there's still something in the knee, because it really blew up after nationals, and it just like blew up to the point where it took me back to hospital and whatnot. So I've kind of been waiting for the specialist. So I finally saw the specialist 2 weeks ago, and there's actually still a foreign body in my knee. But so from the initial injury, so they didn't get it all out. But in the meanwhile, I've actually gone to physio and I found out, so I lost 2 centimeters of muscle on my right leg, and after the assessments, it's 30% weaker. So I've got to build the leg up to support the knee. And the knee itself's getting better as time goes on, and taking that time off from the tournaments I would have loved to play. Like, we had Brook Park, Taupō, Taumarunui. Would have loved to have played those, I just had to be patient and just kind of just not play, just get off my leg and rest, really. And I think that's done it some good. And then backing that up with the physio. So if I was to get an operation, they said if you do get an operation and they go in with a camera and whatnot, it's in the worst place possible, and there's no guarantee. Which was like, oh, great. But there's no guarantee that they can actually get it out. So they might go and do more damage, sort of thing, and not actually come out with any result. So they said wouldn't be strange to wait 3 months, and if it blows up again, then that's something I'll kind of have to do, really take the risk and see what they can find. Otherwise, just just go hard with the physio. I've been training and whatnot, so now I've just joined the gym recently, and I'll get the leg back up and then just boost on from there pretty much. So I'll just have to see how it goes. There's a lot of different twists we do with disc golf, and there's a lot of, it's a unique sport as far as the action we do when we pivot off our heel and drive and whatnot. So I'll just have to see how it goes, pretty much.
Plenty of opportunity for putting practice, especially if you've got a new putter to get used to as well.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's kind of refreshing, like sometimes for me, disc golf doesn't stop. I play disc golf competitively and work in the industry full time. So sometimes I can get burnt out, so a new putter in my hands is kind of like cool. I can, that's just refreshing. It's exciting for sure.
Good stuff. So White Tower's your next one?
Yeah, White Tower's the next one. Yeah.
Excellent. And is it going to be sort of kind of almost back to full time from that point?
I'll see how it goes. I'll just have to see how that goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had no pain after the rounds. Well, we done the championship course and the Champagne. So we done 27 holes, and because I was out there and excited to be throwing again full power without any mental, any pain sort of thing, I threw heaps off each tee and was, trying everything again. So no pain the next day. So that was exciting. So beyond that, I have no plans as far as tournaments. I'm entered into the Aussie Champs, the Aussie
nice,
Champs
in November.
That's in November. So build up to that, and then the end goal as far as the next few months really was to go back over to Smugs to Pro Worlds and next year pretty much.
Yeah, 2023.
Yeah, 23. So that's kind of like the end goal. If I can get keep the knee healthy until then, it's like it'll be sweet. It'll be sweet. It'll be back to full time and in between. It might be a bit. It's it's harder these days. There's so much tournaments going on and all of that. So I might be a little more picky this coming season and just I don't want to burn myself out. For the last 11 years I've been chasing and it's easy to kind of to burn yourself out.
Yeah.
Especially in between 40-hour disc golf job in between those tournaments. So I might play some events I haven't played yet, sort of thing. I'm not too sure. See how it goes.
Sweet. You meant one of the events that you mentioned earlier on, actually, which will feature this disc, is the Rapture. So this is an event which is typically run up and down the country, actually, and you get free RPM discs as part of your players pack, which you play the competition with. Well, can you tell us what the free discs are that are going to be in the pack?
For sure. So this year it's a little different. There's a 2-disc option. And there's a 3-disc option. So we're trying to make it really affordable for anyone that has there's a lot of smaller clubs around the country, so you can choose a 2-disc pack. It'll be a Magma Takapu, and then it's a strata disc of their choice. And that's the 2-disc pack. The 3-disc pack will be Magma Takapu, one strata disc of their choice. Obviously we would kind of suggest a mid-range, and then a premium driver, so either Cosmic or Atomic driver of their choice. So we're kind of leaving it up to the TDs really, that they kind of there's a bit of room. So the Takapu will be the only custom stamped Rapture disc. The others will be stock standard. So it kind of gives them some variance, some more room to play with some different molds of their choice.
Excellent. Looking forward to running the one in Wellington. We've done that a couple of times now. It's
awesome.
Gone very well. So very much looking forward to that. Keep an eye out on all the social channels around to see when those will be run, and obviously we'll have details on the show as well. Excellent. We've got a quick question from Bray. Will we see you at more South Island events this season?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like when I said I'd like to play some events I haven't played, there's a lot of that. Like I've played most of the North Island ones. So like one would, like one I didn't get to go to last year with the lockdown and all of that was Twizel. Heard good things about Twizel. That's just the one that first springs to mind. There's a lot these days, between the Generation Disc Golf boys. The tour itself is exploding. So yeah, probably, bro. I'll probably try and get to a couple more, like the one the Southern Smash. I think the guys run an awesome event, and would like to go down and support that and just play some fresh courses. You know what I mean? Keep it fresh. And beyond that, just Aussie. Really, I want to get over to Aussie a lot more.
Fantastic.
For sure.
Fantastic. Right. Well, we've had a massive response to the giveaway. We're up to wow. Okay. Let me just check. We are up to 112 entries. So, everybody, remember, everybody can enter twice. You can be entered once for tagging somebody, and then if you get tagged, then your name goes in again. You can tag more than one person, that's fine, but you only get one entry for doing the tag, and then obviously one for being tagged. So up to 2 entries per person, and we've got 112 people entered so far. Nice. Keep them coming. We'll do it. We'll spin the wheel a little bit later on. Jacko, thanks so much for joining us today. That's a great summary of the new disc. We're certainly looking forward to seeing them. I'm picking up mine tomorrow, and they'll be available on the website at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Is that right?
Yep. So 8 o'clock tomorrow night is the official drop. So we've given everyone enough time to kind of upload to their web stores or whatnot, or their physical locations and whatnot. So the next day or that night, jump online, go check them out, go support all the local distributors and whatnot, and pick yourself up a new toy.
Sweet.
Excellent.
Cheers, Jacko. Thanks, bro.
Sweet. Cheers, boys.
Thanks so much for joining us. See you soon. Sweet. Cheers. All right, let's get us back to where we are supposed to be. There we are. Wow. So we've got some excuse me, we've got quite a few people entered, and they're still coming through the entries, so I'm going to be trying to process this at the same time. Brady, what else has been happening this week?
Well, I want to see if I know people have been commenting and tagging that kind of stuff. This is the first, and we didn't talk about it with Jacko, and we probably should have, the first like non-indigenous scratch that, because the Kotuku is technically Australian as well, but the Takapu is an Australasian gannet, which aren't indigenous to New Zealand. So it's the second like non-indigenous that. So for anyone who's watching, apparently, according to Matt, the bird that is behind him is a seagull.
No. Wait, sorry. Let me clarify this. I didn't say the bird behind me was a seagull. I said it looks a little bit like a seagull, and then you said it didn't.
So, yeah, it's a gannet. A gannet is a gannet. A gannet is a Takapu. It is not a seagull. They are very different birds.
I get it.
Call me a bird nerd, I guess.
You are a bird nerd.
Yeah, maybe I need to jump on this, like RPM Parliament stuff. But yeah, I definitely think it's again. I think the stamp looks awesome. I'm going to presume they've been using that same artist. It's like Rachel Walker or something like that. I'm pretty sure they have her tagged in most of their social media stuff. I'm really looking forward to it. From what Jacko is throwing, like I've always kind of thrown. The Tui's been way too flippy for me, being a high power player, and the Ruru, same thing, a little bit too deep dish, a little bit too straight. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to something that has a bit more stability, especially in the end of the flight. So yeah, super stoked. The glow, and that honestly, that stiff atomic looks pretty nice that first run. Yeah. And it even comes in my color. Like, I mean, it's, wow. Well, I don't know.
There we are. Yeah, look, I'm looking forward to it as well. I haven't had one in my hands yet. As I said, I'm picking them up tomorrow, but they look a little bit aviary on the top, and a little bit. I'll tell you what it reminded me of. Actually, is a, and that's because I throw them myself. Is a keystone underneath. I don't know if you agree, but it looked quite aviary on top and a bit keystoney on the bottom. So I'm looking forward to getting my hands on one of them and giving them a go. Certainly, an overstable putter is going to be present in a lot of people's bags, so certainly a lot of utility for a lot of people. Now, Brady, we touched on it last week. Have you heard anything from NZDG at all?
Like NZDG officially, or like people who are on the NZDG board?
I mean, officially.
Officially, no. On the down low, I have been in contact with certain NZDG like board members, but that's been more of a personal thing rather than oh, hey, look, I'm the official NZDG. We are officially having an AGM. It is on this date that is before June 1st.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean the clock's continuing to tick, and now what are we at? Well, just under 2 weeks until the first of June, and no word of an AGM or similar. In fact, no official word from them, which is a shame. However, it wouldn't be right for us to just sit here and bash them all day, however easy that might be. It's actually would be more responsible for us to talk about how, if you want to be involved in NZDG, and I promise you, it's not, we don't bash people too often. If you want to be involved in NZDG and you've got the kind of the drive, the inclination to really take New Zealand disc golf forward and make a difference, then we would encourage you to get involved when the AGM does come up. Absolutely, and we'd support anybody who wants to. I think if you're someone out there who's got even who hasn't had any experience in kind of organizational governance, but you want to make a difference, I think that's the biggest thing that really you can look for in a position such as those on the board for NZDG. If you're keen. What do you think, Brady?
Yeah, I was going to say, heck, I mean, like, if you're listening to this show, you have a keyboard, you know how to send emails in a timely fashion, like an NZDG board spot might be for you. Like if you happen to play disc golf, if you enjoy getting outdoors, taking a walk in the park and throwing some Frisbees, the NZDG board might be for you. Like I served on the board for quite a few years, actually, like in various different roles. And like I do know it is hard to kind of wrangle cats and get board members together and get things out on time. But I do know that you can still do things according to plan, and you can still get things out in a timely fashion. Like, trust me, I had 4 months to plan a national competition, like a national championship, and I was able to pull that off. So I presume that if I can do that, and if your ears are listening to my voice now, you can serve on the NZDG, and we'd love to have you, honestly. So yeah, don't be afraid, jump in the deep end, like have some fun, like learn some stuff. Like it's a great opportunity that, like we were afforded to have a say in our club, to have our say in a national board. Like we're not like, yes, we're a part of the PDGA, but we're not nearly as big as the States are or Finland is yet. Anyway, we're getting there. Would you like to help us get there? Like run for NZDG. You got like 2 votes here, one from me, one from, like Matt. So yeah, votes are coming your way. Like run, help us take this sport and, like this country, the sport in this country to the next level.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's a tough job, and it's a little bit thankless, but, you'd be making a huge, huge contribution and difference to NZDG and for the state of New Zealand disc golf. So I'd encourage you to get involved, and I'd encourage you to step forward. Hopefully we'll hear a little bit more about that process in the coming weeks.
So I do have to say, I think Haley Flintoff sums it up just perfectly. Just tuned in. What are we nominating for? Coming next week, we will have, speaking of which, because it hasn't been published by NZDG, hopefully they'll beat us to the punch. We'll post board positions next week. We'll have as a little add-on to the show. So if you're interested in running but have no idea what you should run for, we'll post the job descriptions, as it were, next week. Because heck, we might as well just have the AGM on the show if NZDG isn't going to do it before us. Tune in, vote here, spin the wheel, see if you get elected. NZDG.
Yeah, maybe a wheel spin is what we need. Talking of wheel spins, right? Should we do this? Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Brady, can you keep everybody entertained whilst I just add in the last few names.
I mean, I certainly can try.
I'll just
Oh, yeah, working with the data analytics team behind the scene. I really do like the fact that for any of you who don't follow Matt or Sweet Chain Live on Instagram, you should follow his partner. She's much funnier. Linga posted last week. It was probably my favorite Instagram post when she tagged Sweet Chain of blending into the background as she was lying on the bed behind Matt. You couldn't see her because of the virtual background. As she was like secretly behind the scenes of the show watching, keeping quiet. So Linga, if you're behind the scenes, you are amazing. You're awesome. You are funny. I love all the hugs you give Matt, especially live on show. And I also love when you are quietly watching in the background. So yes, just in case you're wondering who the rock star of that relationship is, it is not the one on screen. All props to
look, and I couldn't agree with you more, quite frankly. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Right, let's get on with this now. I think so. Entries are closed. You haven't commented already. You're too late. Sorry. Right, let's get on with this. So we'll shuffle the names up a little bit, and then we've got to get this on the screen. Bear with me, caller. Right.
I can't do like a virtual like drum roll. This isn't working.
Okay, so here's the wheel of names. We've got 147 entries.
Oh my goodness. My colorblind eyes are like killing me right now.
Yeah, I mean, half these colors you can't even see. So it's
wait, there are multiple colors on this wheel?
There are multiple colors on here. Yeah, indeed. So look, you can only be entered twice. 2 is the maximum number of entries. So hopefully I've captured everybody. Somebody tagged me. Thank you. I think it was Jack Mocker. Lovely. If my name comes up, that's brilliant.
I want my name to come up. Hemi tagged me or untag me. I don't know if that counts.
I don't know.
Okay.
Go on then.
It's all good.
You in. Fix. Right.
Nice.
So we've got 148 names. Here we go. Let's get spinning. And the winner is... That's outrageous. That's outrageous.
Oh, shivers.
Linga is
yes,
winner.
That is right.
Linga.
Hemi, you were right. You can hear her laughing.
Yeah, look, honestly, that is not rigged. You saw the... Yeah, here we go. Here we go. That. Thank you, Bray. Thank you, Bray. Nobody more deserving, indeed. Look, that was not rigged. Genuinely, 147 people. Very well done. Excellent. Right, that's enough from us this week. Hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll be back next week on Thursday night, live at 9. So wherever you're playing disc golf, take it easy, play well, get some birdies, and we'll see you later.